Every But Emily knew what fear felt like. This was different. This felt like a message. On the sixth night, she made coffee at 2:45 and sat on the edge of her bed waiting. Her hands shook so hard she nearly spilled the mug. The second the clock hit 3:17, the stranger appeared again. This time closer, so close she could make out the shape of his jaw, the pale skin, the hollow eyes, and for the first time, Emily felt something stranger than fear. Recognition, like she had seen him before. Somewhere impossible, somewhere buried in memory. The man slowly raised his hand and pointed directly at the old cedar chest in the corner of her room, the one that had belonged to her mother. Emily's breath caught. That chest hadn't been opened since the funeral. Her mother had always told her, "Don't open it unless it truly matters." The stranger kept pointing. Emily stared at the chest, then back at the window. But the yard was empty again. Her heart pounded so loud it almost drowned out the silence. She walked across the room on trembling legs, knelt beside the chest, and lifted the lid. Inside was an old photograph, a silver key, and a folded note with her mother's handwriting across the front. "For the night he comes back." Emily's fingers trembled as she unfolded the note. Her mother's handwriting was shaky, rushed. "Emily, if you're reading this, it means he found you too." Her stomach dropped. The room suddenly felt smaller, colder. She kept reading. "The man outside your window is not there to hurt you. He's there because I failed him, and now he needs you to finish what I couldn't." Emily read the line 3 times, hoping it would make sense if she stared long enough. It didn't. Her mother had been a school librarian. Quiet, Kind. The type who baked pies for neighbors and never even jaywalked. Small tag attached. Basement wall. Panel. Suddenly the pointing made sense. The stranger hadn't been threatening her. He'd been guiding her. Emily didn't want to go downstairs. Every horror movie instinct screamed at her not to. But curiosity mixed with dread is its own kind of gravity. It pulls you forward. The basement smelled like dust and old wood. The single bulb overhead flickered as she stepped down. At the far wall, behind stacked boxes of holiday decorations, she found a wooden panel she'd never noticed before. The key fit perfectly. Inside was a hidden compartment, and inside that, a cassette recorder, a stack of newspaper clippings, and one final note. He never disappeared. They said he ran away. They lied. Emily's pulse thundered in her ears as she spread the clippings across the basement floor. Local man missing after reporting land fraud. Whistleblower vanishes without trace, police ends search after 10 days. Daniel Mercer had tried exposing a real estate scam involving stolen farmland and forged ownership records. Then he vanished. The farmhouse falling the moment Emily pulled onto the dirt road leading to Hollow Creek House. The farmhouse stood crooked against the stormy sky, its windows black and empty like missing eyes. She hadn't been here since high school. Back then it was just a dare. Now it felt like walking straight into a nightmare that had been waiting 28 years. The front door hung half open. Inside, the floorboards groaned beneath every step. Her flashlight beam swept across broken furniture, collapsed shelves, and peeling wallpaper. Then she saw it. An old wall clock above the fireplace, its hands frozen forever at 3:17. Her breath caught so sharply it hurt. This was Italiano. She stepped closer and noticed scratch marks in the wood paneling behind it, like someone had tried desperately to claw their way out. Her stomach turned. She pulled the clock off the wall. Behind it was a small cavity stuffed with old folders wrapped in plastic. Property deeds, signed confessions, bank transfers, Photos of county officials with the developer, enough evidence to destroy half the town. And at the bottom, a human driver's license. Daniel Mercer. But then a voice behind her said, "You should have left this buried." Emily turned. Sheriff Collins, the same officer who had brushed her off days earlier. His face was calm. Too calm. And suddenly, every piece snapped into place. His father had been sheriff in 1998. The same family, the same cover-up. He stepped forward. "Your mother made the smart choice. Shem, you didn't." Emily backed away, clutching the folder. Then lightning flashed through the broken window, and for one impossible second, Daniel stood behind the sheriff. Not ghostly, not transparent, real enough to see the soaked coat, to pale-face the rage in his eyes. He whispered one word, "Barn," then vanished. Emily ran. Sheriff Collins chased her through the rain, shouting, boots slamming mud behind her. Emily sprinted toward the old barn Daniel had mentioned in the tape. Her lungs burned. The folder stayed clutched against her chest, like it was the only thing keeping her alive. Inside the barn, lightning cracked overhead, illuminating rusted tools and collapsed beams. Then she saw it. Fresh concrete in one corner. Not 1998. Old. Newer. Maintained. Protected. Collins stepped into the doorway, gun raised. You have no idea what this town was built on. Emily looked at the concrete. Then at the evidence, then finally understood. Daniel had never been moved. He'd been here the whole time. The storm shook the barn. A rotten support beam above Collins splintered. For a split second, his eyes widened. Then the beam crashed down, knocking the gun from his hand. Emily ran past him. By sunrise, state police surrounded Hollow Creek. The evidence was undeniable. Multiple officials were arrested. Old land theft cases reopened. Families got back property stolen decades earlier. And beneath the barn floor, they finally found Daniel Mercer. The town held a memorial a week later. Emily stood in the crowd, holding the photograph of her mother and Daniel. For the first time in months, grief felt different. Lighter. Her mother hadn't been perfect, but in the end, she had left Emily the truth and trusted her to finish the story. That night, Emily slept with the bedroom window open. At exactly 3:17, she woke one last time. Daniel stood outside, but this time, he wasn't pointing. He simply smiled, a small, grateful smile. Then he turned and walked into the darkness. Gone. Forever. People in Hollow Creek still talk about the storm that finally brought the truth out. Some say justice always finds its hour. Some say the dead never really leave until their story is told. Emily never saw the stranger again. But every year, on the anniversary of that night, she wakes up at 3:17 a.m. Not from fear, from memory, from the feeling that somewhere, somehow, some truths wait patiently in the dark until someone brave enough finally opens the window. And maybe that's the part that stays with you. How many secrets are hiding inside the places we call home? How many stories are waiting for the exact right moment to be heard? If this story stayed with you, subscribe now, because the next mystery is even darker. And trust me, you'll want to be here when it begins.